Hello everyone, today we are running what I think would be the very best deck in the game if it wasn't for Pikachu's dominance. Now the deck can stand up to Pikachu, it's just a little bit less common that it's able to. You have to get a pretty good draw versus their deck, they just have to exist. You have to be able to get like all the right pieces in the right order to stand a chance and really put pressure on them early. And then against any other deck than Pikachu, this one just feels dominant. Whether you get a good flip from Misty or not, it pumps so much pressure and so much damage early on that it is so tough for so many decks to deal with. And the fact that we're seeing kind of an uptick in like fire-based decks that are wanting to run like, I don't know, Blaine, or they're wanting to run Moltres Charizard, Moltres Cindiscorch, Moltres Arcanine. This one just dominates that because of the typing advantage. So getting a Starmie EX down is pumping 110 per turn, and there's just no stopping that at that point. And even against non-typing advantages, if you get Starmie EX down early and you're just slapping 90 damage as early as like your second actual attack turn, crazy pressure. Very similar vein to the Pikachu, you just have to get a little bit luckier on the draw. So if it wasn't for Pikachu, this is hands down the best deck in the game. And I actually went up against Pikachu a lot in these 8 games that I'm going to be showcasing, and I was able to pull home victories more often than not. I don't think that's going to be the like the case most of the time. I think it is very dependent on your luck draw, but we were able to get very lucky with it. And so this deck does well into the Mewtwo matchup just because it can really apply that early pressure and that constant pressure. It does well against all the fighting stuff. Mankeys can't self-damage themselves. The Machamp, you're going to be applying enough pressure that you're going to knock him out before he's really an issue. And then you always have that backline of the Articuno, which can do bench damage and a decently powerful 80 damage onto that front or active Pokemon, and it has a good base of health as well. And so there's not a whole lot to say about this deck. I think this one is honestly probably slept on with how strong it is, because the two that I always see talked about or hear talked about is Pikachu and Mewtwo. And honestly, Mewtwo has been dominating the tournament scene as far as like the first place prize, but overall, in terms of most Mewtwo players, most of them are relatively low win rate. Pikachu performs better on average, and so you see a lot more Pikachu talk, and then Mewtwo talk is mixed in there, but I see very little Starmie EX Articuno talk, and that is absolutely absurd because this deck is everything you want in an aggro deck. It's fast, it has some potential luck elements where you can get on board and going earlier so that if you get that high roll, you can beat decks that you should be very unfavored against just because of how fast you're pumping out that damage. It has the flexibility of those retreat costs. So similar to Pikachu EX, where you can retreat your cards pretty easily, Starmie EX has the free retreat cost, which is incredible. It protects you against those Sabrina lines. And if you get 2 of them online, you can pull out one, put in the other, and so like if you're damaged or hurt a little bit and you need to tank another shot, you can just pivot in the other Starmie EX and you're good to go without losing any of your energy, and so then you can still be secretly or passively applying it to your Articuno to apply some crazy damage. We're gonna go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. The deck is phenomenal. Don't let anybody tell you differently. It can hold its own against Pikachu if you get enough pressure early, but more often than not, you're probably going to lose that matchup, and then everything else, I'm going to say it, every single other deck in the game, you're favored into, like heavily favored. And so we're going to jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. The Misty line, and it looks like they're running Mewtwo. So this deck does decently, actually does pretty good against Mewtwo just because it can start pumping damage so quickly. And then additionally, it does good well against everything else. The only thing that it kind of gets dominated by is Pikachu decks. And so if you're looking for like a good backup deck to run, this is definitely it if you don't have the means for the Pikachu deck, or if you just don't like the Pikachu style. Let's go Misty here. We're hoping for some good fortune. We're hoping Misty does not fail us. Okay, let's go. And game over. Game over. Absolutely game over. Dominating with the 3 energy. We can do Blizzard as early as turn 1. That is so unfortunate for them. Let's go ahead and hit them with a red card. We're going to give them 1 less card to use on this upcoming turn. Whew. Poor Articuno. Or poor Mewtwo, I guess. I'm telling you guys, this is probably, if Pikachu EX wasn't as dominant, if it wasn't quite as fast, this would be the best deck in the game. The only thing that slows it down or holds it back is the fact that, wow, a double potion, okay. The only thing that holds it back is the fact that Pikachu is so prevalent and so strong. He will take the very quick win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, we're going first. We do have the Misty, so we could attack as early as this first turn, potentially. Yeah, ooh, and we finally run into our first electric user, and but the fact that they're running Electabuzz is crazy. Let's go. Good luck on Misty. We just need 1 energy. 1 energy keeps us on that evolution curve for that Starmie EX, and then we win. Just 1 heads is all we are hoping for. Oh, okay. Well, she treated us. Oh my goodness. She treated us well the last time we flipped, and so statistically, she's gonna be tails the first several. They only threw down 1 basic, so I'm not gonna burn our red card here. Next turn, we probably evolve into the Starmie EX, attach a single energy. The bad thing is we wouldn't be able to attack. So 40, 50, 60. Yeesh. Wow. So we're potentially dead here. I hope not, but we're potentially dead off of this turn. 3, 4, 5. Okay. They no basic, I'm guessing. So 40, 80, 100. I guess we couldn't be one hit KO'd by the Starmie EX, but we could be massively damaged. There's a Pikachu EX. It just took them a while to find it. And red card. Fine. Give us another basic to draw into. Give us a Misty. The Misty. Staryu, and then Articuno. We're going to try and build up this Articuno EX in the back line. Big Thunder Punch coming in. They do flip heads. And so it's going to be 100 damage to us, none to them. All right, let's go Articuno here. We do Misty onto the Articuno, and we're hoping for some good luck. Double heads. Double energy would make it where we could start doing Blizzard next turn to threaten the Pikachu EX. Single heads? Okay, I guess we'll take a single. That's more luck than I've had with Misty in the past several days, and so we'll take it. And then we'll attach the energy here because we have to knock out the Electabuzz. And the good thing, though, is that they don't have any energy on Pikachu EX, so we have a spare turn to be able to build up that Articuno. Now, we're very lucky that they did not have a faster start. Had they had a faster start and were pumping out the Pikachu EX damage just a touch faster, and had a full bench, we would be very much in trouble. But since they don't have that down, I think we're in a fine spot. I'm gonna be spoiled by these games whenever we go back to doing like a Venusaur or a Dragonite or anything that stalls the game and slowly builds up, because this aggro is so nice. You jump in, you win a game, you get out, and you rinse and repeat. Ooh, so the Sabrina, okay. Making us throw in the Articuno EX. I mean, fine, isn't it? Can't one-hit KO us, so we just do 40 and 80, and then we knock them out. Do Professor's Research. So Giovanni, and then the backup Starmie. They have no tokens yet, so I think we're just going to do this. We're going to do the Ice Wing. We'll let them build up into their big attack. That's fine. They have to have a potion or else they die on this follow-up turn. I don't want to throw anything out there that might potentially put us at risk of losing that single point. Because right now they have to knock out both of these guys. And doing that is going to be really difficult for them. They did have a potion. But the Pikachu attack is really, really weak here. Right now it's only 30. I guess 50 because of weakness. Hit him with a red card, but we don't want to. Go Articuno and launch out the Blizzard. We don't really need to worry about anything else down in our hand or what we're going to draw. We have everything that we need. Anything else could just potentially put us at risk. And so they do build up. They can knock out the Pikachu or the Articuno EX. That's fine, because then we have the 90 damage. So unless they can like retreat into something else that can attack and still apply pressure, they're in a tough spot. I think maybe the best bet they could have went with would have been leaning onto like maybe a Pincurchin for an attack. So if they retreat into this Pincurchin or that one and then start stacking this one, there's a chance that they can stall us long enough to find a KO attack. But that is not going to be the way to do it. They had to stall and attach onto this backline one is what they needed to be doing. So as it is now, we can... I'm not gonna even do this, because then they could do what, Misty? I guess by that point we have him evolved, we have him fully online. He can tank a full shot. Oh, that's fine too. Go with that. We're gonna throw down the Blizzard, knock out the Pincurchin they threw our way. And their only chance of success would have been attaching that energy onto this guy in the back line so that they could attack and potentially paralyze us going into those follow-up turns. They'd be doing 50 damage each time and potentially stall us from knocking out this Pikachu EX. That is the kind of strength or utility or value in the Pincurchin. They can now retreat out the Pikachu again. or the backup Pikachu. Backup Pikachu can attack next turn, but unless they have a potion, they're just grasping at straws. Giovanni, that's fine. Grasping at straws, yeah. They'll go ahead and knock out the Articuno just to say that they have some points on the board, and then all we have to do is knock out any of these guys out there. The Pikachu not gonna be able to do it. Now, had they been able to somehow have this one attack while knocking out the Articuno, would have been big props to them, but since they wanted to be silly, we're going to be silly. We're going to get this backup one online. We're going to retreat this guy out into this backup one, and then we'll attack with this guy. So we are able to hold our own against the Pikachu EX. Now, I will say that I don't know that this was the perfectly well-built one. And they did have a slow start, so we had a little bit of advantage there. But a win against the Pikachu is a big win in my book. We'll take it. Let's jump into the next one. All right, we're going second. We have Starmie EX, but no Staryu, which is fine. All we need is a Pokeball. With us going second against another electric deck. And so we need a good fast start against electric. And unless we get Misty, Articuno is not that fast start that we need. So they have the Blitzel, they have the Pikachu EX. They have us very scared right now. Having Starmie down would have given us some hope. Okay, so the red card, give us Misty, please. Please give us Misty, and then I hope they find this video. No, unfortunately. They do have the Pokeball, though. We get Staryu, but no Starmie EX now. The Zapdos looking really stacked on that bench now. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do Professor's Research and then the Pokeball. You have a better chance of drawing into a basic that way. And then the backup Staryu. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Staryu. Let's go ahead and do the Articuno, and then we pass. So the Blitzel could be trouble. Being the Zebra Striker right now would be 50 damage per turn. Not on the back line because weaknesses and resistances don't apply for the back line. I guess there's no resistances, just weaknesses. Then the second Professor's Research, look at all of the deck that they've went through. They're down to the bottom 8, and we are at 15. 15! Super unfortunate. Well, let's go. It's looking bad. Let's go with the Ice Wing attack. Next turn, we'll be able to build up into the Blizzard. But next turn, they're also going to be able to swap out, do 90, 110, max of 120 damage with the Pikachu EX, which is deadly, devastating, devastatingly deadly for sure. We could... Sabrina's not going to do us much good because their Pikachu's already going to be up and attacking. So all it would do would be allow us to attack something else. And so most likely the Zapdos EX, which they could then do an X speed or just attach an energy and then retreat. And then they'd be in a much, much better spot. So they... Ooh, so they skip? I guess they couldn't... I guess they didn't have an X speed to pull the Blitzel in. So it bought us a turn, I suppose. Not bad. I kind of want to do Sabrina now, because we have that extra turn, which is beautiful to see. Let's do it. Let's do the fully build up on Articuno. I'm going to save the Misty. We can throw it onto maybe Staryu EX. Starmie EX, my goodness. We can throw it on Starmie later on, or maybe a secondary Articuno. Let's go with the Sabrina line. Let's see what they bring out. And the big thing that I know is that we're going to be able to attack twice. So, and they wouldn't be able to knock us out in one hit. So we're going to be able to do like the knockout of Blitzel with our Blizzard passive damage. No way. We found a way to win. They, without the X speed, without being able to have Pikachu as that frontline Pokemon, we just were able to outpace them just ever so slightly there. And so a matchup that we were heavily disadvantaged against, we found a way to win. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, we're going first. A beautiful Misty would be, well, beautiful. It's an electric deck, so I think we're going to go tempo with the Staryu versus the Articuno. Because we're going to need to be pumping damage very early, very fast. And so drawing a Misty here could give us that that advantage. Otherwise, we're going to hit him with a Professor's Research. First, the Pokeball, draw that out of the mixture or the chance of pulling. Don't mind throwing that onto the bench. And then the Professor's Research. Double Giovanni, not exactly what we're looking for. The Pikachu aggro deck going second with that. Meaning they attach the first energy. They typically attack first. Very tough to really do anything against. So Professor's Research, how many basics do they have? I assume they flood the board here. Wow, they hit us with a red card. That's fine. Fine, right? Starmie, beautiful. Misty, beautiful. The 2 cards we needed to have a chance. All right, don't fail me, Misty. We need 1 heads. That's all that I ask of you. 1 heads, and we can beat the electric mouse. That's all that we need. We need to beat the electric mouse. Oh, I will take the 1-1. That is all that we needed, because now we are online with the Starmie EX on curve, meaning that we can slap the 90. We can do another 90 next turn. So they're not going to have that extra time to build up their Pokemon. And so, oh, thank you, Misty. You gave us that slight edge back when they got to attach first. All you did, realistically, was push that back in our favor. And so we are going to take it We see the concede, jump into the next one. All right, we're going second with an aggro deck. That is exactly what you want to see. We're going against a steel deck. And so they're looking to kind of stall and get Meltan into, I think it's Melmetal, which is just a big, tanky, beefy guy. It takes 4 energy, but Meltan has the Amass ability, which, if attacking first, is great. But otherwise, he can't really hold his own. If he gets built up without being like impeded, great. Outside of that, just he doesn't stand on his own as well. Okay, let's see. Articuno off of the Pokeball could be big for us. Let's go ahead and throw the Misty that way. 3 heads, is that too much to ask? 16 heads is possible. Oh, okay. 1 and 1. Misty's actually not completely whiffing for us, and in the past she has absolutely whiffed. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna X-speed the Staryu to get the 40 damage Ice Wing out and in the front line. We're not wasting any time here. Even that 1 energy from Misty can be so pivotal in like your pacing and your tempo. And so now, if Meltan doesn't evolve here, he'll be dead next turn. If he does evolve here, he will take 4 turns to be able to attack, and so he's just kind of a sitting duck, sitting target. And then the Mawile can potentially discard our energy. Potentially. It has to hit a heads, so it has to get lucky on that flip. And so the 20 damage here, they could stall us with this. Interesting to see. And then they have the Pidgeotto or the Pidgeot line. Are they going to be able to evolve it on curve? Because the Pidgey into Pidgeotto into Pidgeot would have been big. Let's see if they pass their heads tails check. Oh, they get a tails. And so now we're going to be able to smack the 80, and I think we probably see the concede just a little bit too fast. And even if they do take out and force the Staryu up front, it's a 1 retreat cost. If we get the Starmie EX, it's free, so then we can just kind of pivot it freely. And we're absolutely fine with that. Let's go with the Blizzard attack. So now we can always bring Articuno back out next turn. Even though Staryu has no energy, without an evolution, we can just attack and retreat. They're just in such an awful spot. And unless they want their Meltan in the backline to die, they have to evolve him this turn or use a potion on him. Then Pidgeotto evolving into Pidgeot. Man, that was the reason I don't run the Pidgeotto Pidgeot is because it's a stage 2, and then it still has relatively low health for a stage 2 for that full evolution line, and then a relatively low attack. But it has a cool ability. It's just so many decks have that kind of versatility of having the really flexible retreat costs that it just doesn't always hold its own where it needs to. All right, let's attach onto the Staryu. We'll retreat him out. Bring back the Articuno EX. feel free to gust us away, but we're just gonna come right back stronger each time. Let's go ahead and do Blizzard. I was gonna say we could do Sabrina, but we knock out that backline Mon anyways. So now it's just the Pidgeot, and they're in for a tough time. And so they can knock out the Staryu. Good on them. You get some points on the board, but there's not anything that they can do to stop us from KOing them next turn. And so we lose our Staryu, but we win the game. Fair trade. Fair trade for sure. Maybe we see Starmie EX. Oh, we see a concede. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, we're going second against what looks like a Mewtwo deck. And so we get the first attack. Mr. Mime is always an interesting include. Just meant to serve, I think, typically as like that tank character. But if you want him to attack, you have to use 2 energy I feel like just a base Mewtwo does the job better, or even a Kangaskhan, which only takes 1. And so Professor's Research, along with a Pokeball, they're getting a lot of good draw going. And then a Ghastly. Whoa, so not the deck that I thought, but maybe the deck that I needed. Since we're attacking first, we can't evolve here, so no use in the Misty. There's not really a good utility for it. Unless we get really lucky and flip over into the Articuno. Go ahead and run it. We keep our hand relatively low, so if they do hit us with a red card, we're okay. Let's see. Probably not going to hit. At least not the 3, but even 0s. It's fine. We just build up our Staryu instead. That's okay. Let's see what they're planning to build up on their end. The Meowth feels like it's splitting hairs a little bit. Unless you start with him, he feels really, really bad. And then even then, sometimes it may not. Wow. For the Haunter, they could be going Gengar. But Gengar is fine. Like, we can retreat out with the Starmie pretty easily. We don't need to force a Sabrina most of the time. They do have a 100 damage attack. If they have him built up, which I believe it's a 3 energy. You don't see Gengar all that often. I believe it's a 3 energy attack for a 100 damage. And so we can tank 1 and then return fire. So I think we're okay. Go ahead and knock out the Mr. Mime. We're going to work our way through each of them. If they go Meowth, we may switch their Meowth for the Gengar so that we get that first attack on him, rather than them getting the first attack with him on us. There's the Meowth. Let's see if they put anything else down onto the board. Because if not, we're going to be targeting that Gengar pretty heavily. And if they don't evolve him, okay. The 170 HP, it is a 3 energy attack for that 100 damage. I like the idea of Gengar, but he just doesn't keep pace because we have so much aggro going around. That was a little bit rude, but I understand it. So now Articuno comes out. We can do the X speed plus the energy attach and then retreat him out. Let's go ahead and do that. The energy attack, the X speed into bringing the Staryu back on board. It ends up just being a waste of a Misty. Or not a Misty, a Sabrina. Sheesh. Let's go ahead and do a Sabrina of our own. And we get that first damage off against their Gengar. And we'll no longer be able to do things like Professor's Research as long as Gengar is out front, but he is an EX Pokemon. And so 100 damage on an EX Pokemon feels like honestly too risky for needing that 3 energy and that second stage versus something like Executor EX, which can be online early on, has 1 energy. Wow, another Sabrina. Rude friend. But as soon as they knock out this one, we throw in Starmie EX and we're on board, so it's okay. It's just more so stalling for time than anything. That is their second Sabrina. So let's build up a backline Articuno, because we know that Starmie can tank 1 hit from him. So maybe we need to like throw him out, attack, and then retreat into the Articuno, get a little bit creative with how we find that in-game line. But the options are definitely there with Starmie being so flexible. Knowing that there's no longer any Sabrinas at risk here, we are much safer in kind of leaving some guys on the back line where we need them to be and positioning them a little bit better. So the spooky shot, we do lose our first Articuno EX. It's fine. I hate to see it, but it's fine. Unless they have like an Arbok type effect or we can't retreat out the Starmie, we're in very good hands. Let's go ahead and attach onto the Articuno. Attack with the 90 damage. Not enough to win. We couldn't even do Giovanni if we had it or if we wanted to. That's fine. Knowing that we're going to take 2 tokens from them here. Now they can retreat out a Gengar for like a Meowth or Persian, but they're really just, they have to find a way to knock out one of these guys, and it becomes very tough for them to do that. We can do Professor's Research now. They do get a potion so that we can't knock them out with the Articuno EX, and so good looking out on them. They draw into their cards, but not gonna be enough. Professor's Research. We get a we get a Sabrina. So had we had that, we could have done the flip flop. If we had it last turn, we could have done the flip flop. But since we didn't, let's go ahead and pull out the Starmie. Bring in the Articuno. Just because it's a free retreat cost, if it cost us any energy, we would probably leave Starmie. But this way we continue to do kind of like pop shot damage on the Gengar in the back line. No Sabrinas to worry about, so we don't have to worry about them like being able to usually one-shot anybody. There's no way that they can knock down 120 damage. The most they could do would be 110, and they would need a Sabrina, which they've used both of theirs, which I guess they can't do Giovanni and Sabrina anyways. So it turns out they were just stalling and couldn't find a way to bring it home. We will take the win, and that's actually where we're going to go ahead and end the video. That is 8 wins out of 10 games with several Pikachu matchups in there. And honestly, I think I lost more to non-Pikachu and just bad draws than I did against actually losing against Pikachu, which is very surprising, but still love to see it. This deck, I think, is probably the second best deck in the game, if I'm being honest. We're going to go ahead and take it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.